Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Back to Watercolors. Welcome to episode 6. I am so happy you are here. And before we get started, I would like to say 2 announcements. One, thank you so much for helping me reach 400 subscribers. I can't believe how much, I honestly just can't believe it. I'm just so grateful to all of you. Thank you so much for helping me reach this milestone. It's really crazy and blows my mind how many people subscribed after watching my sketchbook videos, and I'm just so grateful to all of you and all the comments you guys left and all the support. I just really appreciate all of you, so thank you so much. And then the second announcement is that this video was recorded back in June, I believe, is when I kind of took a break, mostly for my mental health, from recording and painting and sharing stuff on the interwebs. Mostly just because I was just going through some stuff, so I was holding on to this footage for a very long time. So while editing, I didn't know until I was, going through all the footage that I did do some real-time commentary and explanations and just kind of sharing my process and thoughts about the painting with you guys. And I thought it would be nice to leave that in and kind of give you all insight into what I'm thinking as I am working on the painting. So this painting was a repaint of a painting that I first did on my channel called Pink Mood. It's the first video that I ever posted, and right now I believe it's private, but it is linked to a playlist, so I think people can still watch it if they want to, but it's not very good. I'm just gonna warn you. But if you are interested in seeing what that painting looked like, I believe it's 2 years old, and then I painted it again a year ago, and now I'm painting again this year. And I think it's really cool to see how much my art has changed over the past 2 years, and I share that at the end of this video, so you don't have to go and look for any of those videos if you don't want to watch them. But if you do want to watch them, I'll be greatly appreciated and also maybe a little embarrassed. Anyway, I purchased these shimmer watercolor dot cards from an Etsy seller. I believe that she also has her own website, and I follow her on Instagram. So I left her Instagram handle on the screen and also in the description box if you'd like to check out any of her watercolors. But she hand makes shimmer watercolors. I believe they are using mica, but the mica she used is sustainably sourced, which I really do like and appreciate. I really do like shimmer watercolors. I do like using my gold shimmer watercolor, but the hardest part for me and why I don't really use it very often now is now that I am scanning in my work and wanting to post it on my website, it doesn't scan very well, and it doesn't make very nice art prints unless I guess you go over the glitter parts with glitter again, so it kind of prints out nicely. So that's why I don't really use my shimmer or gold watercolors too much anymore. I like using it. Maybe I'll use it more in my sketchbook, or maybe like specialty prints in the future. If I ever print any prints at home, I can, I guess, emboss them myself or paint over the shimmer with actual shimmer watercolors on paper. I'm not really sure, but I know that is a problem with other artists that I follow, when I guess you have to go over the original painting with the gold or get it embossed into your painting if you want the gold to show up. So that's just something that I keep in mind too when I'm working on a painting, is how will this translate into a print? Because one day I would like to have my work printed out so people, if they choose to purchase them, can. I think most of the time it does hold me back though, because I want everything to be perfect and look nice. and presentable, and that's very hard to do, and also continue with learning and my art practice. I'm trying to meet myself in the middle with buying handmade watercolors because it does allow me to have a lot more fun and flexibility, and also just use that shimmer, you know? And that's what I do with this painting that I'm going to show you soon, is that I do go ahead and use the shimmer watercolors because I had this brilliant idea in my head and I wanted to make it a reality. So what I'm doing is kind of separating out the watercolors that do have names versus the one that are just test samples. So there are a few test samples that don't have names. I'm guessing there were like samples that, like, you know, she was testing out and didn't make it to full production, or was just figuring out if the formula was right. So I do have a couple of test samples that don't have names, and then I have some dot cards that do have names. So I did separate them, and I labeled the names and did little swatches for each one, so I know in the future, like if I have a favorite one, what the name is, so I can purchase it again. I would say the whole process of opening the package and organizing all the watercolors and then getting to swatch them out was very nice, and overall was a very happy like process for me. I think this is kind of like my favorite part of getting new art supplies, to be able to test them out in my sketchbook. I really enjoyed that. And then seeing all the little samples together and being aware of what I have available to me, I really enjoyed that. I think House of Sparkles, that one right there, is one of my favorite colors, and something that I probably would love to have like a half pan or something of, like maybe a quarter pan of it, just, you know, hanging out with me for a little bit. I really love that color and I want to use it in a painting one day. For some reason, as soon as I swatched it out, it was just giving me Howl's Moving Castle vibes, like from Studio Ghibli. I don't know why, but that immediately like popped into my brain, and I was like, I have to make a painting similar to that. But I was like, my skill level is not at that level right now. Like, I don't know how that's going to be possible, but it was definitely giving me those vibes, and I love this color. Like, look at it. It's so pretty. Oh, it was definitely giving me Howl's Moving Castle vibes. Let me know what color you like the most from these swatches, because I really love House of Sparkles. Like, that's my color right there. I hope you're able to kind of see how the paint like shimmers and shine. I tried my best to turn my sketchbook in a way that the camera could catch the glimmer of the sparkly watercolors. But I don't know a better way to share them with you unless you like physically look at how sparkly they are. So I hope this was able to show you how pretty and sparkly, and you know, I just love them. Maybe one day pick up some paints of your own, because, you know, support small businesses. I always like to rewatch my painting processes, especially in videos like this, because after not painting for like almost 3 months, I kind of forgot like how to paint a face in a way, which is super frustrating to me because painting faces became my comfort zone, and now it's like my frustration zone right now. For the most part, I do start with a outline. Usually it's in gouache or watercolor before I get into the main part of painting the face. But I'm gonna briefly leave you here so Realtime Jada and June can talk to you about what that process was looking like and what I was thinking while working on this painting. I haven't decided how I was going to tackle this painting. So this is a repaint. I think it's gonna be like a little bit of a tradition on my channel, honestly. Like every year I'll repaint this painting or concept, I guess. I know it's gonna be mostly all in pink. Like that's like the main part of the concept, is that most of this is going to be in pink. But other than that, I don't know what else I want to do. I was thinking of using the Prima watercolors that I have, that I showed in the previous Back to Watercolor episode that will be out before you see most of this part of the painting. I was thinking about using periwinkle like around the outside, because most of this painting is going to be in pink, and I think that would be a nice like bluish purple to put on the outside of the painting. I don't know, but this would be the time that I would do that, but I just haven't made a decision of like what the color palette is gonna be. I don't know what pink watercolors or gouache I'm gonna use. I know I'm gonna use one of the samples of little dot cards that I purchased. I'm probably gonna use one of like one of these chrome colors. They're like white, but they have a little bit of sparkle to them. I was thinking about using one of those, and I was also thinking about using dragon fruit here. Add a little sparkle with dragon fruit. I'm not sure. I also like sea fog. Will sea fog and periwinkle look nice together? I don't know. I do want to add some shimmer. Like, I think this would be a nice like blush. Like, I could just like put it on the lips or on the cheek. Like, I think that would be really cute. I don't know. I also have Pink Lotus and Daydream. Like those. I think I will use this color, Daydream. Like, look at that. I don't know if I can get a good focus on that. Probably not, but it's so pretty. Look at that orangey, like pinkish color. Like, that would look really nice in the background too. I don't know. It's so hard to choose. I could also put it in the flowers, like a little accent color. Maybe that's what I would do. Because the problem is, so how I'm thinking about this is that I don't like to put too much granulating or too busy of a background. Like, I like to have some solid elements. Like, the face is going to be a solid flat color. The scarf, possibly a flat solid color in gouache, because that's just how I like to make the scarves and like the ribbons. Background, I like to add granulation, hair granulation, possibly flowers. I think that would be nice to add the sparkles. So then the background will probably be a solid color, so periwinkle. I don't know. I kind of want to do that right now and just see how it goes. And I hope you like this style of like me talking while I'm thinking about this process and everything, and like talking to you about what I'm thinking about for this painting. I think this is a completely different style than I normally would do. Like, I don't often talk to the camera, but I thought that it would be nice if I did and like walk you through the process. I might cut this all out and then scrap it later too, so who knows. So after thinking about it and talking about it, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. And I combined two different colors from my vintage watercolor palette to create the background of this painting. And I really do love it. I felt like it definitely added a nice, like, soothing, soft palette to the background colors. And it balanced out the pink of the overall painting. I totally forgot to share the sketch. I think I have it right here. You probably saw it in the sketchbook tour. So this was the sketch of the painting that I'm working on now. So yeah, it's been in the works for quite some time. I just never like got around to actually painting it. Here's what my first attempt sketch was, and then did some color steady ideas. Obviously, things have changed since then. And I think my style too has changed a lot since then. I have a lot more mileage with painting and drawing faces now than I did before. And yeah, I'm gonna just continue working on maybe just a face layer, which is like I'm dreading but also really excited to do this, because when I do the face, like I can't leave it alone until I'm completely done with it, and then I will do the final like touches to it either same day or next day. So this is gonna definitely be interesting. And although I can say I am surprised, I'm not really that surprised that I went ahead and forged on and worked on the face layer. I did end up finishing it that night because, like I said, when I get started painting the face, I have a hard time walking away from it, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes you end up overworking it, or sometimes you just have to force yourself to walk away. Sometimes I have to force myself to walk away, because what I've noticed, and maybe you have noticed too, when I paint in gouache or watercolors, when I'm painting a portrait, sometimes the colors have to settle into the fibers of the paper before you get a true, accurate understanding of how the colors are interacting with each other, what needs to be added, what needs to be taken away, that kind of stuff. And you don't, at least I don't see it all until I've taken a step back, let the paint layers dry, and then come back and see where I need to maybe add more paint or maybe work on a different part of the face. So that's just some advice that I have if you're struggling also with walking away from a painting and wanting to complete it in one sitting. Sometimes taking a break and taking a step back for the paint layers to dry so everything can settle and you can get an accurate understanding of how the colors are working together can be very helpful, and a good reminder that we do need to take a step back and not overwork our paintings. I really enjoyed working on this painting, mostly because I was a little bit stepping out of my comfort zone while doing a portrait facing in this direction. Usually my portraits face frontwards because it's easier for me to paint, but with my portrait facing towards the side, I had a different kind of perspective, features that I never really painted before I needed to emphasize, and especially like around the cheekbones, like I needed to paint them in a way that made sense to me. Just a little update. It's been an hour and some change, maybe like an hour and 30 minutes. And I completed the face layer. So this is what it's looking like. I totally forgot to do the line art for the ear, but I think it turned out pretty okay regardless. Also, didn't realize how light I made the skin tone layer, so it's gonna be very interesting. I feel like it's gonna be a very interesting painting, but it wasn't intentional, but it is very similar vibe to like the other paintings. I was gonna go for a darker, wow. So like I was saying, I was gonna go for like a darker skin tone, just because that's my style in general, is to paint very brown and darker skinned women. And I ended up unintentionally matching the skin tone to previous paintings of this kind of pink mood inspired painting. So I still love it though. I did have some difficulties with the eyes, and that's why this painting took me so long to finish. I don't think it's perfect still at all. Like it still looks a little weird, but there's nothing I can really do now to fix it. I've tried everything, and this is as good as it's gonna get. I'm trying not to overthink it too much and like worry about it way too much, because I just spent way too long messing around with it, that at this point, if I continue messing around with it, I think I'm gonna make it worse. Just something, just a learning experience as I go. Something I need to keep an eye on, and I do understand where I kind of went wrong as well. So, just something to keep an eye on if I do decide to do a painting in this kind of profile again. I know what to kind of avoid doing and what to look out for to be able to match like the shape of this eye to this eye, and like to get the lines matching up and the shape matching up together in a interesting way. Now that I have the camera on, I might actually add another dot of white there, because I think the white that I had there before just kind of melted into the painting. So just to lighten that spot right there up a little bit to match the other side. So yeah, I'm gonna be done with this painting for the night. I'm going to clean up a little bit and then probably go to bed. It is 8 o'clock and I try to be in bed by 9. So yeah, this is it for now, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Hey everyone, welcome back. I took a short, like maybe 3 or 2 day break from this painting, just to clean up my space and think about what I wanted to do. And I'm glad I took that break, because I have a cool new idea that I wanted to try out with this painting. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on this like light green and blue down here into the painting, so it kind of like matches and flows a little bit better. I'm also going to be doing a new technique for me. I was thinking of just doing like a watercolor to gouache, so like doing like gouache on this, gouache here, but like maybe watercolors for these. Like what I was thinking is anything that's in the back would be watercolor, and then everything that's kind of like towards the front, like forefront, will be in gouache, so it kind of looks like it's sticking out in a way. I think that would be pretty cool and interesting. I honestly don't know if the effect I was thinking was going to happen in my head actually happened on paper, but I still really love how the flowers turned out. I think just painting botanicals in general is a very enjoyable process for me, especially when I take my time and plan out how I want the flowers to turn out. What I was explaining a little bit before was I thought that it would be a good idea to paint the flowers that were in the background or behind other flowers in watercolor, and then paint the flowers that were in the forefront in gouache, so they kind of stand out a little bit more. I don't know if I really gained the effect that I was looking for. However, because I use my gouache and watercolors in a very similar way sometimes, and it's really hard to get a very thick consistency with gouache when you're painting something super tiny like a little flower, I don't think I got the effect I was looking for then. But it definitely is something that I want to try again, and maybe I'll try it in my sketchbook to kind of test out different objects and see if it works out there. I remember when I was planning out this painting, I thought I would do like a pink or red to white fading hair, or like ombre kind of hair. I don't know what I was thinking, and I don't know if I was really thinking when I started painting the hair this time either, but it ended up working out really well. Like I really love the soft pinkish white of the hair. I don't think I was thinking about it at all. I kind of just went for it. And I just love the way that gouache, like the texture of gouache, can just make things blend in a very interesting and beautiful way. I don't know. I love the hair. I just love how it turned out. Maybe sometimes we just don't have to think and just let our intuition rock with things, because I definitely think I was reminding myself of how the other paintings were, and I always went with like white hair or white pinkish hair, and I wanted it to be very similar to that. One of my favorite things to paint is the scarf or like ribbon around my girl's head or around their necks. Sometimes I paint little bows or ribbons on objects or animals. I think it's a theme in my painting that I want to stick to and that makes my paintings feel like they're mine. I really just love painting little bows and like bow ties. I think they're so cute and they can be in any color you want them to be. I feel like they're a nice little accent and something that you can make into any kind of shape that you want, and it just fits into a painting. I don't know, it just feels like so light and airy and feminine, and that's something that I want to incorporate in my paintings going forward. And I think it would be a nice like signature. Like that's a Jada's painting because of this object or the way that she paints. I have that goal in my mind and I want to stick to it until maybe one day I'm bored with it. Maybe it's just something I do this year and maybe it'll be something different next year. I don't know. But for now, bows and hair ties and cute little scarves are my thing right now. After I was done painting all the elements, the last thing that I needed to do was figure out where I wanted to add the shimmer. I talked about it a little bit in the previous clip, so I decided here that I was going to add the shimmer watercolors to the cheekbone area, almost like a highlight. I thought it would be a nice like spot to put the shimmer in that little triangle on her face, and I really like how it turned out. It was very, very pretty. I also decided to add a bit of shimmer to the flowers as well, and I'll show you what the little dot cards are that I use for the face and also for the flowers. One of them was a test color, and then the other one was a cute little like pinkish color, and I thought that would look really cute for the flowers. And here is the final painting in all her shimmery glory. And here is the girls all together from 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and this year. And it's really great to see them all together because I can see how much my art has progressed over time. In just 1 year, I have grown so much, and my goal is to be better at painting heads and painting portraits in general. And even though my portraits are not very realistic, I feel like my style has changed and has grown so much. And this definitely gives me a confident boost when I feel like I'm not growing or that my art isn't good enough. I look back to where I was a year ago versus how I was 2 years ago, and I do see such a big change, and I am very proud of myself because of that. And I'm very thankful to all of you who have stuck around since then or are new to my channel and are willing to follow my art journey, because I have so much that I want to share with you all. And I hope to see you all again in the next videos to come. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye. Take care.